Hello, everybody. My name is Mike DeGenova. I'm an advisor and partner with Jaffe Tilchin Wealth Management here in Tampa, Florida. And today I'm here to talk to you about the Tampa JCC and Federation 401k plan, which is administered through ADP. My role is twofold. One, my firm helps the Tampa JCC make sure that we have a competitive 401k program for our participants. And the other part of my job is to be there for the participants in terms of education and also support to help you with your investments. And so today we're going to talk about the 401k plan here. And this presentation really is tailored to not only folks looking to start, but also those who have been in the plan. And so we'll start by asking the question, how much time do we expect to spend in retirement? Is it 20, 30 years, hopefully? Maybe more? Well, the truth is that we're living longer today. An individual reaching 65 will likely live until 84 if you're a male, and 86, 87 years old if you're a woman. 25% of 65-year-olds will live past 90, and 10% will live past 95. And so the fact is that we need to save. We need to have money put away so that we can enjoy our retirement years. So what's our strategy? Are we going to worry about it later? Hopefully we win the lottery? Wait for Social Security? The truth about Social Security is that it may not be enough. The average Social Security benefit is just over $1,800 per month, just under $22,000 per year. Where that is nice, it may not be enough, so we need to save on our own. One thing that happens during our lives and continues in our retirement is inflation. So what things cost today will not be what they cost in the future. They will be more than likely more expensive. And so we have that headwind that we need to plan for. So what is the solution? A great part of the solution could be a 401k plan. In a 401k plan, we can save money, let it grow without being taxed. And then when we need it during retirement, take it out and only pay tax on what we take out. And so it's a nice benefit that the government allows us and we have available at JCC. To be eligible for our plan, you have to be 21 years old, have worked at the JCC for 3 months, and then you'll be auto-enrolled at 1%. You can go in and opt out if you'd like, or you could go in and actually increase your savings if you choose. The max you can save is 80% of your salary. There are 2 ways to defer your salary. One is through pre-tax, and the other is through what's called the Roth feature. The pre-tax is the traditional way of saving before taxes, letting the money grow tax deferred, and you pay the tax during retirement when you take it out, only on what you take out. Roth is the exact opposite. You pay the taxes upfront, you invest the money, it grows tax deferred, and then the money is tax-free when you take it out during retirement. The good news is you can do both. If you, for example, want to defer 10% of your income, you could put 5% in the traditional pre-tax and 5% in Roth. Or 7 and 3, 6 and 4, some combination of your total contribution. This way, during retirement, you will have 2 buckets of money that you can take out. One will be taxable, one will be tax-free. And that's nice to have because you don't know what tax rates will be down the road compared to what they are today. So it's nice to have the flexibility to be able to take out from whatever bucket is most beneficial at the time that you distribute it. As I said before, you can defer 1% or 80% of your salary. But those percentages cannot exceed a total dollar amount. In 2025, the max contribution, if you were under 50, is $23,500. If you're over 50, you can contribute an additional $7,500 and total $31,000 for the year. You know, some people say, Mike, you know, we have a lot of bills and it's tough to save. And I like this slide because this shows the power that even small amounts, if you save over time, can add up. If we focus on the blue bar on the graph, this assumes an 8% rate of return, which is a moderate rate of return. And this says if we invest just $10 per week, how much money can we have over time? You can see after 30 years of that type of saving, you have close to $65,000. And over 40 years, so a full career, you have close to $152,000. And that's just $10 per week. So this shows you the value and the power of compounding. The next slide is my favorite. This talks about the timing of when you start. The earlier, the better. On the left, you have Anna, who is deferring $100 a month, and Bob on the right, deferring the same $100 a month. Anna was smart and started at 27. Bob was not as smart and waited, started at 37. You can see that Anna invested for 10 years, a total of $12,000. Bob invested for 30 years, a total of $36,000. And Anna had more money when they were both 67 years old. So what does this slide tell you? The earlier you start, the better it is, because you allow and have the time for compounding to occur in your account. So you want to make sure you take advantage of your saving opportunities. You want to start as soon as you can, and you want to increase your contributions over time. As you work harder and grow and achieve raises, you want to make sure you increase your contributions over time. Another thing you want to make sure you do is when you go into the ADP website, that you make sure that you declare your beneficiaries. You have the ability to set primary and contingent beneficiaries. And you want to make sure that the money, if something should happen to you, is going to where you want it to go to. Also at ADP, you have the ability to consolidate assets. So if you have old 401ks that are out there and you'd like to bring them in, my team, and there's a team at ADP also that can help you bring those assets, consolidate them for simplicity. And then the only other decision for you to make, and the only step for you to take, is to make sure your investments are right for you and stay right for you. And that's what my team can help with. So again, very simple. How much do you save? And then which investment options do you select? So let's talk about our investments. This is a risk return graph from January of 2014 to January of 2024. So 10 years, what did the different asset classes return? And you can see that the more risk you took, the more return you got. I think we all might understand that. And the S&P returned 12.7%. And it also is the most volatile of these asset classes. In the middle of the road is our fixed income or our bonds. Those returned close to 8%, and those are not as volatile and is not as risky as our stocks, but you didn't achieve as much return. And then we have our money market or our cash, which over that time period yielded 1.17%. Money market, as we all might know, is safe and does not move, just gets a little bit of interest every year. So you can see here, the more risk you take, the more return that you should expect over time. And you've got options. There are two ways to invest in our plan. If you're the do-it-yourselfer and you want to mix and match your own funds investments and you have outside investments, maybe you want to run this as a completion portfolio for your other assets. There are 25 investment options that are all best in class, monitored by my firm, that you can choose from. Very diversified menu, so you can achieve a full, proper diversification within our plan. If you're like a lot of people, they want it done for them. And that's because maybe it's overwhelming, it's difficult to understand, tough to keep up with. There is a solution for you if you are that way. That is our autopilot option. And we have a family of target date funds, which I'm going to talk about in just a moment. And we have risk-based asset allocation funds or models. And what that is where you just have to determine if you're conservative, moderate, or aggressive, and it's done for you. This is another look at the risk return spectrum, but looking specifically in the blue bars within stocks. Because within stocks, there are investments that are riskier, are more aggressive, are more volatile, but can return higher rates of return over time. We have specialty funds, international and global, which are at the top, and your small caps and then mid caps and then large caps. So your large caps will be the companies we all know and probably recognize their name. You'll get a good return, but if the higher up that you go on the risk spectrum, over time, you should expect higher returns. I mentioned briefly 2 slides ago our target date funds. Inside our plan, we have the Morningstar Target Retirement Funds. And you'll see all of these funds, and they will have a year in the title of the fund. That year is supposed to be close to when you turn 65. That means you have the appropriate fund. And you're not putting all your eggs in one basket if you put 100% of your money into one of these funds. Each one of these funds is made up of 10 to 15 underlying funds. And the reason I like these funds for someone who is looking for an autopilot option is because these funds are designed to manage an appropriate asset allocation based on your age. And so all you have to do is pick the fund where the year in the title of the fund is closest to when you turn 65. So the younger you are, the more aggressive they are. The older and closer to retirement that you are, the fund is automatically more conservative. And so it is a perfect way for someone who just wants to set it and forget it to pick the appropriate fund and then just save as much as you can, and it will be managed for you in an appropriate manner. This is an example of the glide path, which shows you that if you have a 2050 fund, you'll have the most equity or the most stocks, and so it'll be the more aggressive. And so the date, say 2025, which is now, so that would be appropriate for a 65-year-old now, we'll have a lot less in stocks and more in bonds and cash. And so you can see over time these glide paths occur, and make sure that you are having your assets managed in an appropriate way based on your age. The next slide is my information. Myself, my team, we are standing by to help. The easiest way to set up a meeting or a call with myself or my team is to email me, and we will get back to you quickly and set up a time. As I mentioned before, our 401k plan is administered and record kept by ADP, our payroll provider. The website is mykplan.com. And you can also see that there's obviously 800 number and a retirement app for our phones. If you go to mykplan.com, you can enroll or see your account that you've been enrolled in and alter what your contribution rates are. You can make sure that your beneficiaries are exactly the way that you would like them. And then also you can pick your investments. So that's the conclusion of this presentation and this recording. I thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today. I hope this helps with understanding our 401k plan and the benefits of the 401k plan here at the JCC. With that, I'm going to end the presentation. Please reach out to myself or my team for any help. Thank you very much and have a great day.